We have audio. I'm on a bike today. Hello everyone on YouTube and Twitch. Just give me a second to get everything set up. It always takes a while to make sure everything's working properly. Okay, that should do it. I'm biking out to the International Cargo Bike Festival today, without a cargo bike. I'm not sure how it's going to go. Just load up chat here. Okay, I'm here outside the Amsterdam Hilton in a polo bird. Good a place as any to start, I guess. And I'm riding out to Vijfhuizen, which is a pretty shit place to have a conference, to be honest. I was hoping it would be at the Rye, but it is what it is. So I need to load up my GPS directions because I have never been there. I would have no reason to ever go to Vijfhuizen. So let's go. I've got the streaming rig in the IRL backpack today. It should be way more steady than it normally is because it's not attached to the bike. But the angle might be well, every once in a while there might be a Dutch angle, so if it's not level, let me know. Quite a long ride. Yeah, it is. It's a hell of a long ride. It's going to take me about an hour. The public transit was going to take me an hour too, and I think if I got a car, it probably would have been about 35 minutes or so, as I don't think there'd be any traffic today, but I didn't want to have to deal with having a car and parking it there. So bike it is, live stream it is. How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful day here in Amsterdam. I think that fall is my favorite season in Amsterdam, because the weather is nice and cool. It's not too rainy like it is in the spring or winter, and the leaves are nice. It's good stuff. The Dutch angle is what we're here for. Yeah, exactly, right? That's why I can't really complain. I think the IRL backpack's the right idea. It's just a little annoying to wear a backpack when you cycle. Here's Het Amsterdam's Lyceum, which is a high school, and they have this cool bike path right through it. I like going through here. It's kind of nice. Trains hate the leaves though. Yeah, the leaves can get incredibly slippery. Actually, my son slipped on his bike the other day because of the leaves too. They can get really, really slippery if they're not properly cleared. So we're just coming up to my least favorite roundabout in the city at Amsterdam. This roundabout's such a shit show. It's where the hoofdnet fiets for bikes and the hoofdnet auto for cars meet each other, and so the roundabout has some really messed up priority. Some exits are priority for bikes, some exits are priority for cars, and it confuses pretty much everyone. So you'll get to see that in a second. I usually avoid this roundabout if I can because I hate it, especially at rush hour. But here on a Saturday, it's not so bad. Oh, you hear that leaf blower coming a mile away? Jesus. Look at that though. A blue plate Snorfeets that's actually going 25 kilometers an hour. That's not a sight you see very often. All right, here's the roundabout. So this is priority for bicycles here, and that woman's going the wrong way. And then I yield here, fine. But then here, I need to yield to cars, which there is one, yep. Shh, that's a bad angle. But then she stops for me because it's confusing. And then here I need to yield to cars as well, but I got a moment to go. God, I hate that roundabout. And they've changed this here, which is nice. They got the tram and stuff, but now this is a really sharp turn here. The thin striping means the car has priority. Well, you can tell by the shark's teeth, the triangles. If the triangles are pointing towards you, you yield. They're basically like yield signs written on the ground, right? Oh, there's new little like bicycle light here now. This is the tram depot where they go overnight. And what have they done here? This now just sends me into a parked car? What? Why do the lines, I guess it's supposed to then imply you go like this? Well, whatever. And then here, cars are supposed to turn left there, but I can go straight through, and then we come out to Zeilstraat. This was also featured in my most dangerous place to cycle in Amsterdam. I hate this street, but on a day like Saturday afternoon, it should be fine. But this is one of those streets that if I think I miss Toronto, I'll just come out here, and then I don't miss Toronto anymore. Yeah, I'm not waiting for that. I'm just gonna pay attention to traffic here and not chat for a bit until I get on some better infrastructure. I just need to get out of this part of the city. It's not very friendly. Well, by Amsterdam standards. Frites outside. Go for some frites. Yeah, speaking of vehicular cycling, shit, man. I hate that street. But anyway, we're done it. And now we have a roundabout where bicycles have priority. And this street just up here was rebuilt fairly recently. I think they finished it last year, a year and a half ago. And now it's pretty nice. How are you automatically updating the street names on screen? Oh, I got a keyboard here and I'm typing them. You can find out the details in the YouTube description. I use a piece of software that a driving streamer made, actually. And I made some modifications to it to make it work for me. That does the street names, the weather, and the map. I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called because I downloaded it a couple years ago, and then I made a few changes and I run it on a Linux server, and OBS grabs the details. The GPS comes from an Android app that updates the GPS as I'm writing. Is this a new part of town? Yeah, so we're going now into the area called New West, that is. I'm sure you could have guessed that. And this is a newer part of Amsterdam, most of it built in the 1960s. 70s. Roads are a lot wider. It was mostly built for cars and then kind of retrofitted for bikes. And so the infrastructure out here is way better. Lots more room. Man, this is just perfect weather. And I think another commenter mentioned it's a little warm for this time of year, but I'm not going to complain, I guess. I'm actually just impressed it's not raining, to be honest. Unfortunately, mopeds are now allowed on the bike lanes out here in New Vest. But at least the bike paths are wide enough that it's less of a problem than it is in the rest of the city. Electric bike or acoustic? I'm on electric today. I wasn't going to ride for an hour out to Vijfhuizen and then go to a festival where I have to meet people. I don't know, I'm not in for that. I'm going to take it easy. I'm actually riding kind of slow on. Not sure how long it's going to take to get there. My GPS says I've got 16 kilometers to go, so this is going to be a nice tour. We're going to go by Schiphol Airport. Oh. You don't have to learn Dutch. Oh, Stefan is here. Hey, man. Yeah, I mentioned that I would live stream my ride out if I could, so obviously you know now. I will text you when I get there, but I think if I'm live streaming, you'll know when I get there. So go check out Stefan on TikTok if you're on TikTok. I believe his username is Steph the Transpo Dude, but I'm sure he could correct me if I'm wrong. He works for an engineering firm in the Netherlands, doing street design. An American guy. Well, I think this is going to be pretty easy for the rest of this ride. It looks like we just ride on a protected bike path through New Vest until we hit the end of the city. So hopefully having the camera on the IRL backpack is a lot more stable. I know it's a bit bad what it is. Like I had probably even up seeing it. It wasn't really, it was just a that I had kit too. I don't know, man, the way that frame or whatever, but it was more stable connecting the camera to the bike on the old bike than it is on this one. So I think we just have to do IRL backpack and put up with the Dutch angle when it happens. Uh-oh, bad connection. F. Oh, it's back. It's interesting, actually. Yeah, Steph, that was pretty comical how you told the guy, Jesus, told the guy to F off as soon as I recommended that people watch your stream on Twitter. Why is my bitrate so low? There must be a little patch of bad signal here because I'm across 2 networks and I'm only getting 600 kilobytes per second. That's insanity, actually. Anyway, I gotta get going. Let me just stop and take a quick look at that to make sure it's not something obvious, but I think it's just bad mobile network out here. This looks more like the 70s, yeah. There was, but it's decent now. Yeah, I'm just looking at the stats here. Okay, but it's back up to 4,000 now across the two networks. Yeah, I guess it was just a little glitch in the matrix, little area of low signal. It's going to happen, I guess, even with two mobile networks. I'm using the BellaBox software now, which is an open source project by a guy who goes by Rational on Twitch. Does IRL walking streams in San Diego, I think, somewhere in the US. Maybe it's not San Diego. We probably would have just been there for TwitchCon, but anyway, Rational on Twitch. You can search for BellaBox, BELABOX, and yeah, it's pretty good. Rational IRL. Is he from the UK? Really? Huh. I must be thinking of someone else. Anyway, he has the software, the BellaBox software that he open sourced, and it works pretty well. And it lets me do across two networks. And I think if this continues to work out, I'll up my pledge to his GitHub project to keep it going. So this is nice out here. Like, this is obviously more suburban, but you notice that there's only ever one lane for cars. That's like much safer because people aren't jockeying for position trying to pass. But then for capacity, they just put turning lanes at every intersection. It's actually doubling the number of lanes for cars does not double the capacity, despite what traffic engineers might tell you from their university textbooks. Because people will try to pass and move around each other, you get less than 2x. The biggest benefit is by adding turning lanes, so that cars going through don't get stuck waiting for cars that are turning. And so actually just having one lane in each direction is much safer. It's not much of a capacity hit. And then there's lots of room for other stuff like this bike path through the trees. It's been one lane for quite a while now. Yeah, it's one lane almost all the time. Almost all of Amsterdam is one lane in each direction for cars with a median in the middle. Almost everywhere. The only places it's not are places that are like close to freeway entrances and exits. Yeah, but I love it in North America. They always complain that they can't build bike lanes in the suburbs. And I'm like, that's where you have all the space, dude. That's where it's the easiest. As you can see here, right? And then they do a protected roundabout. And this is quite pleasant, right? I actually kind of like cycling out in the New Vest, even though I have normally no reason to come out here. How are breakdowns or accidents handled? Well, there are a lot fewer accidents, so they're handled by having only one lane. Hi guys. That's funny. I mean, the emergency vehicles, there'll sometimes be a bus lane or something, and emergency vehicles use that, or emergency vehicles come down the bike path too, right? Yeah, I like these street lights, right? They're lower on the bike lane side and then higher on the road side. They're kind of nice design. They have them all over the place. Did that sidewalk just end? It could be. There's nothing on this side of the road. Like there's just a canal over here. So the sidewalk could have ended. There's the sidewalk on the other side, but I suspect the sidewalk, I mean, it doesn't just end. It would go off into that neighborhood there. But there is a trail here, walking trail, hiking trail, and a little bit of a forest in the canal. Stream sniper passing by. Yeah, I don't know if they were stream snipers or they just saw the camera, but I think, well, considering they came from behind, I suspect they knew that it was me. Man, this is nice. Just cycling between the trees here, and the traffic's really low today. I don't need a cargo bike. Where is this festival? So it's at this expo center in Vijfhuizen, which is near Schiphol Airport. It's a bit of a pain to get to. I could have taken a train. I think probably the fastest would be to take a train to the business park in my business parks video, and then pick up a bus. But anyway, it was a nice day, so I thought I would ride a bike. What do you think about Amsterdam making some streets that were for bikes only shared spaces known as auto te gast? Well, they're not really making like streets that were only for bikes and letting cars in. They're mostly taking streets that have bike lanes or something. So, yeah, I don't know. What this chatter's asking about is what's called fietsstraten. They'll have a sign that says auto te gast, which means like autos are a guest. And it's basically just one big bike lane that cars can drive on. Speed limit's 30 kilometers an hour, and drivers need to wait behind, I wonder why it's taking me this way. This is interesting. Drivers need to wait behind cyclists. And how it works, I mean, it only works, and actually I think they only make fietsstraten if they count more than 4 times as many bicycles as cars on a given stretch of road. And that's kind of how it polices itself, by having so many people on bikes that the cars are in the minority. It can only work with very low levels of car traffic. And how well it works, I mean, there's still some drivers even here that are kind of dicks and push by you, so I don't know. I think they can work as long as car traffic levels are very low. Like, you can't just plop down a fietsstraat. You have to block it off to through traffic and do other things that they do here to reduce motor vehicle traffic. And then they can work, yeah. So this is an interesting route that it's putting me on here. I'm using the Vijfhuizen app because their biking directions are much better than Google. But this is a bizarre place to be sending me. It's like a street to access, I think, a business park here or something. I don't know, I'm going to trust it, but this is a bit odd. Yeah, listen to Stefan there. He knows, man. He works in this industry. But, you know, the thing is with the Vijfhuizen app is it'll send me down some like weird route, and then I'll suddenly notice that there's a bunch of people cycling because it's where all the locals know to go. Because Vijfhuizen has the best routes. Hey, there's a picnic truck, grocery delivery, little electric trucks. I love those things. I mentioned that briefly in my video that's out right now. My latest video is out on Nebula. I think it's going to go out to patrons very shortly too, actually. And then it goes to YouTube on Monday. The app was called just the Fietsersbond, like the cyclists union, Fietsersbond. And they have an app. They updated it about a year ago now, and it's quite a bit better than it used to be. It's still a little clunky in the interface if you're used to like Google Maps, but the routes that it gives are just vastly superior. I'm working on a video about it actually, because I think it's interesting why they're superior. Like Google Maps really does, even when you're cycling, tends to send you down car routes. You end up stuck at a lot of traffic lights, whereas I think you've noticed since we've been cycling, I'm pretty sure we've only gone through 2 traffic lights that were both green when we got there. Yeah, the Vijfhuizen app is great. Yeah, so it'll send you down some strange road and you're like, what? Well, this must be wrong. And then you suddenly pop out to this like perfect thing. Like, you'll go down a road like this that just looks like a typical street, and you think, why is it taking me down here? And then you find some like cheeky little cut through or something, or dead end that cyclists can go through, and you're like, ah, that's why it sent me down here. And here it is. This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? We go down that street that seemed like, why would I be on that street? And now look where we are, right? Oh yeah, this is great. I'll pick up the pace a little bit because I feel a little safer actually dealing with the streaming rig while cycling here. Ever tried City Mapper? Briefly, but I don't know, like the features bond is just too good, man. There's no way I would use anything else now. I don't think Google would have taken me down this route. It probably would have kept me on the car road. Go 35 miles an hour. Okay, John Forrester. Man, John Forrester would hate stuff like this, right? Must be getting close to the airport. I see planes a little lower to the ground. Oh yeah, that is great. Woo! Just hit 32 kilometers an hour on that downhill there. Ooh, I think I see the route he's taking, yeah? Have I ever been to Venlo? I was in Venlo. Why was I in Venlo? Only very briefly. I can't say that I know much about it. Why was I in Venlo? I don't know. I'll look at it in Google Photos to figure out why I was there. Oh, look at these kind of neat houses here. Turn, see it. Like right over the water like that. It's kind of neat. Oh yeah, but yeah, exactly. Like people mentioning, that's what I like so much about the Vijfhuizen app. I completely agree. Because yeah, you go down that road where I'm thinking this looks wrong, right? Like we went by that business park and then some houses, no bike lanes or anything, and then boom, we're here. I mean, because the thing is with Google Maps in the Netherlands, there's really no bad place to go when you're cycling, and as long as it doesn't, you know, don't go on a freeway or something, but there's really no bad or unsafe place to go. So the routes that Google gives you are fine, and they're not going to be unsafe. But you're going to be cycling next to cars, you're going to hit a lot of traffic lights. Bloody pedestrians on the bike road. Now I'm pretty sure that this is also a walking path. I didn't check the sign, but usually what they have is they'll have the sign that for a pedestrianized area, like the standard European sign, and then underneath it, it will say bicycles accepted. So it's technically a pedestrian path, but bicycles are allowed to use it. And that also keeps the mopeds out using that kind of signage. Well, I mean, in theory. Yeah, I have never been out here before. So there's a bunch of like detached homes, or not semi-detached homes. I think there's one on either side here. And that, oh, that's a detached home there. That's interesting. And then they got the canal right out front. That's nice. I mean, there are better ways to build suburbs. And then over here, it's like more modern row homes. Features bond is not allowed to be installed on American phones. Oh my god, it does drive me nuts when I'm looking for an app when I'm traveling and it's region locked. Like I get that they like lock it to a region because it only works in that region, but like if you're physically in that region, you should be able to use it. Like I remember I was in London, Ontario, and I needed to park on the street, but all the parking meters have been removed and you have to pay with an app now. And the app was like region locked, so I couldn't download it on my Dutch phone. I'm like, okay, great, I can't park. So I had to go find another parking lot. that allowed me to pay it another way. Just look a little at this route. Okay, I'm gonna have to go up this bridge, so that's interesting. So we'll have to see how they've made it accessible to bicycles here. It looks like I have to take this route here on a ramp. There's stairs here while walking. Is this that's interesting. That's a different path. So I have to cross here, so let's see how it does it. Let's see how they've designed it here to make it easy for people cycling. Okay. Nice easy grade. And they've got this big line of hedges to block the noise of the highway, because it looks like this is a highway, right? Or no, I guess it's not a highway. It's just a more major road. Oh, here comes a little electric car. I don't think he's supposed to be here, but I don't know the rules out here. Are there any places in the Netherlands that you still want to visit but haven't yet? Oh yeah, for sure. There are tons. I had a whole list, and then because of cars suck, man. It's loud out here. I had a whole list of places I wanted to go, and then when COVID hit, I couldn't go to most of them. I actually really want to get down to Nijmegen and Eindhoven. I don't know, that part of the country. I want to get to Maastricht. There's tons of places. Hey, speed limit's only 50 kilometers an hour here. Surprised it's that low. And now we have to go back down. And I guess that's about as pleasant as you can get without building a separate bicycle bridge. I have been to Nijmegen very briefly. We went to Nijmegen and then immediately went to Lent, which is that little town it's basically like attached to Nijmegen to the north. My son went there for a speed cubing competition, but I haven't seen the rest of Nijmegen. All right, so where have you brought me now, Vijfhuizen? Oh, am I supposed to go down there? No, okay, it wants me to stay on this. You should do cities that have hills like Arnhem and Nijmegen. Yeah, I will get around to that. I don't know. I'll have to make the hills video someday, but it's so frustrating. I mean, I was reading a research paper. It was done a couple years ago that analyzed various factors as to why people cycled in the United States, and specifically they went in to look at the effect of hills and winter. And they did the whole report and everything like that, and the conclusion was there is no correlation at all. Because, I mean, I don't know. People might not cycle because, if you have hills, maybe only 25% of your population cycles instead of 50% or something. But, in these places that have like less than 1% of people ride a bike, it's not because of the hills. So is this a Vijfhuizen? It looks the color, maybe a little faded. Haven't been able to catch your live stream recently. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing great, thanks. Some fully detached homes here. These are semi-detached, but yeah, some fully detached probably around here. I mean, this is quite suburban. Actually, I have no idea where we are right now. Imagine being this close to a busy airport, you can't even notice it. It's true, actually. It's actually remarkably quiet out here. Let me just stop and have a sip of tea and appreciate that. I do hear those cars in the distance a little bit, but not as much as I would in other countries, because they must be using the quiet Zoab asphalt there. And I hear an airplane in the distance, as well as that car. Now there's a siren as soon as I say how quiet it is. Does your Canadian family ever get culture shock seeing so much bike infrastructure? Possibly. I think they're used to it by now. It's usually me that gets reverse culture shock when I go back, and I'm like, holy fuck, I didn't remember it being this bad. Schiphol is straight ahead of you. Oh, wow. Let me just look at the map here quickly. Oh, yeah, it's going to bring us right by. I knew it was going to happen. So we're going to cycle right by Schiphol. We're going to go under a highway. Quick, you said it was quiet. Yeah, exactly. And now I get a moped. Can't wait for those things to go electric. Okay, so I go under the highway, turn right, and then around the runway, and Vijfhuizen is just there. So actually, this isn't so bad. I mean, it's still a long distance to go, but it's basically just 3 turns. I'm a year-round cyclist, live in Massachusetts, don't understand why people talk about weather and cycling as if they're related. I still need groceries in winter. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's, you know why. It's because people think of cycling as a recreational activity, a toy. That's why they don't take the infrastructure seriously in North America. Because they consider it's like for somebody's hobby, like a golf course or something, yeah? I've been dreaming of going to the Netherlands for over 2 years. Finally got to go this summer. What an amazing place. Yeah. Oh, here's a loud little Kanta here too. I take it all back that it's quiet here. All right. One more sip of tea and then I'm on my way. Oh, there's an electric one. That was much quieter. Although I can still hear it coming because of the tires. He was motoring. Oh, shit. Neighborhood was quiet till Jason moved in. Yeah, well, you know, I used to be a rave DJ, so I was not known for being quiet. Nah, that was ages ago. Let's see here. We're going to go under the highway. Almost everyone in the Netherlands gets grocery by bicycle. That's a lie. Lots of people do groceries by walking. I've actually started doing more of my groceries by walking instead of bicycle. Because I'm already out. I'm trying to do more walking in general. Learn the neighborhood better. And when I'm already out walking somewhere, it's just so easy to just go into the vegetable shop or the grocery store and just buy something quickly and walk out. Yeah, it's good. Just turn right at this next traffic light, yeah. Alright, so this road is 30 kilometers an hour. And there's a speed bump, and now it's 60. So we must be, oh yeah, we're outside of the city, right? See? We just left Leiden. Now we're on a, you know, a county road, I guess you'd call it in North America. And the speed limit is 60 kilometers an hour here. And they put these, so this is a two-way road, but they put these dotted dashed lines here with a bike lane on either side, but it's dashed so that cars can go in it to pass. It is a little bit funny that this is a 60 kilometer per hour road, but I saw that they tried to do this in California. Traffic engineers tried to apply this to a street in California, and everyone got confused and they tore it out. But I find a lot of the time when traffic engineers like well-meaning traffic engineers try to do Dutch stuff in North America, they do what I like to call cargo cult infrastructure. They just take something they've seen in pictures and maybe some slideshows and then plop it down without realizing that it has to come into a certain context. It's like what I was talking about earlier in the stream with a feet spot. You can't just drop down a feet spot and say share the road, right? Like, that's not going to work. First you have to reduce car traffic, reduce speeds, get rid of through traffic. Then you can put down a feet slot. But the cargo cult bike infrastructure is just, you know, grab something Dutch, plop it down with no other care about what the rest of the context is like. America has almost no transport professionals. We have civil engineers. It's different. That's completely true, Stefan. I mean, you would know, Stefan. Anybody new says Stefan Barr here is an actual transportation planner from the US who works now in the Netherlands. He has a TikTok called Steph the Transpo Dude. He talks about this stuff. But yeah, he knows better than anybody here what the difference is like. And it's right, like civil engineers look at road design very differently than Dutch traffic engineers do. Traffic planners. You know, it still blows my mind when I took a traffic engineering, in part of my civil engineering course in university. I majored in electrical, but I still took a handful of other courses. And I remember when they were modeling traffic using like the flow equations that we learned from like fluid flow. And even at the time I thought, this is kind of stupid, guys. Like, but that's the kind of stuff. It's like, well, we'll just mathematically treat cars as a fluid, and then this is what we do. I'm like, okay, as if there's no other implications to doing things that way to everybody else who has to use the road. But anyway, that's American traffic engineers for you. Now, this is quite a mess out here, isn't it? Okay, yes, traffic engineers are civil engineers. Yes, that is absolutely correct. But I think there's a distinction that what Steph was talking about is that the civil engineering that's taught in America is very different than the civil engineering that's taught in the Netherlands. I think you really can't appreciate it until you've experienced both, as Steph has. It does kind of amaze me how quiet it can be when we're this close to highways, though. It's that quiet asphalt. It makes a big difference. Because I used to live a little farther away than this from the Don Valley Parkway in Toronto, and it was loud, really loud. But I can just barely hear it there right now. Yeah, you can literally hear the birds, right? Yeah. Even though we're like close to two highways. We're basically at a highway interchange for a major airport, right? Like Schiphol's just off to my left. Yeah, it's so surreal to me. Let me just stop for a second, because it's so surreal to me that I can see those cars there. I mean, I hear this car. I can see all those cars and trucks on the freeway right there, right? But I can't hear them. It's like they're not there. It's so weird, because I go out and film a lot for my videos, right? And if I was this close to a North American highway, it would be really, really loud. I can just barely hear it. And I can hear the leaves rustling and the birds chirping. It's surreal. Would you rather live in a rural area with Dutch planning or a city with North American planning? A rural area with Dutch planning, for sure. You know, the rural areas will still have safe ways to get around without driving, and there'll probably be a town nearby where you have a nice little city center and stuff. It's nice. Okay. How did you find British road infrastructure relating to bikes and cars? I mean, British road infrastructure is still very, very car-centric. Like, it annoys me when you're in a British town and they'll have those black fences put up that prevent you from crossing the street except in a very specific place and in a very specific way, and you usually have to go to an island and zigzag. And although there's a lot of those British rural roads that are really, really narrow, and those are kind of nice, although some people drive like maniacs down them. Even like going under this highway is quiet. Listen to this. And there's an airplane. It's so surreal, man. They really do take noise seriously in this country. Oh, via ride bomb. Now, there's always an alternative for people cycling, right? Even when there's construction. It doesn't just dump me in the street with this, whatever the speed limit is here. Probably only 60, but it would be 80 or 90 in America and or into Canada. And say share the road. They take noise seriously. Meanwhile, the two mopeds. Yeah. Mopeds are their own problem. I do hope they go electric as soon as possible. I know going electric has their own set of problems sometimes with them coming up behind you and you don't hear them. But I think I still hear electric mopeds because of their tires. Yeah, they literally took a whole lane away from cycling there. Yeah, they put in a traffic light so that drivers have to wait to only go in one direction at a time. And the only reason they did it is so that people could continue cycling. Yeah, the construction only had a negative impact for cars. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Although there was actually a little traffic light thing for bicycles too. So in the one section, it was only one way for people cycling as well. The speed limit is 80 there, you can tell by the double dash lanes. Oh yeah, you're right. You had to honk to pass her? Okay. Stefan says here, an American transportation engineer is just a civil engineer who's taken a couple of traffic classes. They know absolutely nothing. And I think that's probably accurate. What's funny though is that the civil engineers who are talking about this are on Twitch and Stefan is on YouTube. And so they're talking past each other, which is really funny. I am multicasting to Twitch and YouTube right now. I don't know how much longer I'm going to do that, by the way. I may have to drop Twitch at some point in time. We'll have to see. It does introduce a whole bunch of lag to go through Restream, but for now, I'll multi-stream to both. Okay, where the hell is this now? And yeah, you are allowed to ride a moped in the bike lanes in most of the places in the Netherlands. It's mostly only Amsterdam that has banned it. And this is kind of shit. But I guess this is odd, isn't it? I guess this is the street for these houses, and then like the county road is that over there. Huh. Guy's giving you the stink eye. Yeah, well, I have a camera out. Some people do get upset when they see cameras. Just irrationally upset, even if I'm not filming them. You know, it's really funny. I have had people complain sometimes when I'm out filming. Most of the people who complain to me about don't film them are people who aren't even being filmed. They're like behind me and they'll like tap me on the shoulder and I'm like, what's going on, dude? You're behind me. Just keep walking. Like you can see the camera is pointed the other direction. Like, what are you even complaining about? I find some of the people who complain just want to complain. They just want to find a reason to complain. And so they see a guy with a camera and they're like, don't you dare film me. I'm like, I don't know who you are. Have never seen you before. You're literally behind me. Just go away. Not true, Jason. 45 km/h Bromfietsen. Yeah, I understand. I'm talking about Snorfietsen when I'm talking about mopeds. You know, when people are talking about mopeds. But actually, out in the rural areas, even the Bromfietsen are allowed on the Bromfiets pad. Yeah, so there are Bromfiets pad out in the rural areas. So cycling along here kind of sucks, actually. It's okay as long as the traffic volumes are low, and I guess that's the through street, which is interesting. They've done it that way. So that's like people going through are there, and this is only local traffic, which makes this bearable, but still feels like you could design this better. I got shouted at for photographing a mountain, yeah. Some people just want to complain. Like, I totally get that people don't want to appear on film, and if people said, like, you know, if people who walk in front of the camera or something say, oh don't use that or whatever, it's fine. And if I have a clip where somebody's face is like really visible, like they're clearly not background, they're a little more in the foreground, then I'll ask my editor to blur the face subtly. You know, it doesn't, like, it's not a giant blur there, but you can't, when you look, you can't tell who they are. The Dutch like their privacy. I mean, I guess. Dutch people don't complain about being filmed nearly as much as the Germans do. And I'd be happy to get off of this road, to be honest. Although, you know, here I'm complaining about this. There's like no cars that have come behind me the whole time we've been here, I think. I don't know. Maybe one or two. But I'd still like to get off of this. So this is, yeah, literally the end of the runway here. I guess this runway is open today. Schiphol has, what, 6 runways, is it? I don't know. My son knows these things. He's big into aviation, watches Wendover Productions and such. And we have come out plane spotting. Actually, this is kind of a... Yeah, that's literally the airport right there. There's no fence around it. It's just, there's a ditch with a canal. This is as good a place as any to stop for a cup of tea, though. Maybe another airplane will land over us. Runway. This is the Polderbaan. This is oh yeah, that's right. Of course, this is Polderbaan. This only is open. This is not open very often, but clearly it's open now. They sometimes use the Polderbaan for cargo flights. But here comes. That's not cargo, is it? It looks domestic. Rather commercial. You know what I mean, passenger. We got it right eventually. Welcome to my aviation stream. Or did you travel with Dutch public transport? I don't know quite what you mean by that. I use public transport quite often. This is 18C, not Polderbaan, though? I don't know, guys. You guys figure this stuff out among yourselves. I don't know. As far as I know, it is a runway at Schiphol. I rely on my eldest son to tell me about airplane stuff. Oh, here comes another plane. The planes really do land often at Schiphol. It's amazing to see. Although I remember I once took helicopter lessons outside of London, and we flew, I mean, as close as we were allowed to Heathrow, and it was phenomenal to see the line of planes that were just getting ready to land at Heathrow. So Polderbaan, I guess, is the one they like to land at. I know there's one they like to land at a lot because there are fewer people living near it. And then if the wind changes, then they'll land at other runways. And every once in a while, a plane will come low over our house. It's KLM. All right, let's get going. Who do I look like? Wendover Productions. Casually dropping as a helicopter flying rave DJ, yeah. I only took one helicopter lesson. My wife got it for me as an anniversary present once, but I would love to fly helicopters. I just, you know, just need to be incredibly wealthy first, and then I'll do that. So, patreon.com/notjustbuy. Gotta pay for my helicopter lessons. Oh my God. Cool to see the planes land so close. Yeah, I really like planes. I was really big into planes when I was a kid too, just like my eldest son is. I know that planes are not the most environmentally friendly things, and they've got their own set of problems, but here comes another here. But I love planes. I really appreciate their engineering. And it's great to come to the airport and stand just under the runway and have the planes land over your head. Well, kind of like this. We are literally on the approach here, you can see. And there's some plane spotters. I'll wait till I don't get in their shot. I mean, from an engineering perspective, those things are phenomenal. They really, really are. Like, they're so cool. But you do have to appreciate that. All right. And yeah, there's a Spalter's Plek just around the corner. I've been there before with my son. They're comparing their photos. Love it. And here comes another one already. They really do land every few seconds here, eh? All right. Well, apparently today we're out to see cargo bikes, not to see airplanes. That's what I've heard anyway. Although at the rate I'm going, I'm going to get to the straight show and need to turn around immediately. I'm taking so long to get out there. I didn't leave until like afternoon, and all right, this is where I turn, right? Oh, literally right here. Thought it was at the roundabout. Here comes another plane. Lufthansa. There you go. Bicycle lane, but tractors are accepted. Wow, it's windy out here. I hope that dead cat on the mic can keep you from having to hear it, but I'm going to turn up the e-assist a little bit. I still have tons of battery on the e-assist. This is great. Oh boy, planes are going to be landing 80 meters to your left, yeah. Yeah, it is. It is windy out here. Holy crap. I guess that's what happens when you have a big open airfield. Dead cat is doing his job. Yeah, barely any windows. So I'm going to be screaming here. And people are going to go, what is he screaming about? Well, just because the wind in my ears is so loud. All right, I'm gonna pick up this pace a little bit here. There's no reason to ride slowly anymore. There's so much wind in my face right now. Wind, aka Dutch mountains, yeah. The Dutch hills. Here comes another plane on my left. Ryanair. Oh my God. I remember one time my son was flying, and he's never taken Ryanair, but he knows about it from his readings about aviation. And we had this really hard landing, and he yells out, "Oh my God, that was worse than Ryanair!" The whole plane just starts laughing. Aren't you going to want to shower once you arrive? No, I'm on an e-bike. I'm not really sweating at all, actually. I barely got any exercise. Fitbit says I'm at 106 BPM. I'm not really getting any exercise here. This is like a brisk walk kind of thing. Don't you greet people too while cycling outside of the city center? I mean, maybe. Do sometimes. Oh, turning here. Although I find cyclists greet each other way more in North America because there's so few of them and they kind of all have to band together. It'd kind of be like greeting everybody that you drive past in America. Do you exercise a lot? No, not as much as I should. I'm an old dad. Brisk walk is exercise? Okay, well, if you count that as exercise, then yes, I exercise a lot. You can watch my video on YouTube about the gym of life. Oh, I thought that was a moped coming up behind me, and I'm like, no, that's not right. No, it's Transavia airplane landing. Okay, still got 3 kilometers to go, but we're almost there. Hey, Steph, do you know when this trade show goes until? Am I going to miss the whole thing? I don't know. I got a press pass to it. I asked them. They gave it to me. That was nice. But I don't really know why I'm going. I don't... Just kind of... The trip... The journey is the destination. It's kind of fun to go out and see new things. Plane or moped audio game, nice. Mopeds are just planes without wings. Maybe. I consider them leaf blowers with wheels. How fast is the fastest Dutch train? I recommend you go to google.com and type in fastest Dutch. Or you can go to google.nl if you want. Mix it up a bit. Dude, stop asking the same question over and over in chat. I don't know how fast the fastest Dutch train is. It depends what you count. Do you count the Eurostar? Do you count the Tally? Do a frickin' Google search. Have I been to Southeast Asia? Yes, and I know that mopeds are everywhere. And I lived in Taiwan, and I know that there are mopeds freaking everywhere in Taiwan. I find them annoying. Maybe not as annoying as lots of cars, but they could be so much better. Yeah, right, 300 kilometers an hour and HSL South. Yeah, but Nederlandse Spoorwegen doesn't run 300 kilometer per hour trains, so it depends what you count as a Dutch train. kind of amazes me actually, like how open it is here. They haven't like put a bunch of development here. Somebody was joking about why don't they put a Walmart with 2,000 parking spaces. Yeah, I mean, I do wish that Dutch trains were faster, but at the same time, like, I would gladly take frequency over speed anytime with almost any public transit anywhere. It's better to have more trains run more often than fewer trains run faster. I know they've been having this debate in Ontario, Canada forever, and nobody wants to build any goddamn trains there, but you know, the politicians will talk about building a high-speed rail line to London, Ontario and stuff. And Via Rail will say what we really need is high-frequency rail so that we can run every 15 minutes or half an hour or whatever they consider high frequency. I mean, you can go from Amsterdam to Eindhoven and the trains run, what is it now? Every 7 minutes? It used to be every 10 minutes. They improved it, but maybe they've scaled it back because of COVID and lack of staff, but it's every few minutes anyway. How'd you deal with Taiwan mopeds? When I was living in Taiwan, I was praying for electric power ones to hit. Well, this was way too early for electric power ones. I lived in Taiwan in 2010 and 2011. Just mopeds are just part of the deal living in Taipei. But most of the time I took the metro. Well, this is the boring part of the ride, but it's peaceful. Although that road off to the right there is louder than like any road that I've been next to in this whole trip. I would really like to see Taipei get more safe bicycle infrastructure. I know they have some now, but it's very little. Taipei still has some really big wide roads and it's kind of shit. Some people drive like maniacs. When I was there, it was very common you get in a taxi and seatbelts don't work in the back. And I remember that I would like try to pull the seatbelts out from underneath the seats. And sometimes if I ever mentioned anything about it, the driver would get angry at me and say like, why do you need a seatbelt? Are you saying I'm not a good driver? Which is always so frustrating. And then the granddaughter of Chiang Kai-shek died in a taxi because she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And after that, all the taxis got their seatbelts fixed. Which country have you been to that had the most unique and surprising urban fabric? Ooh, I have no idea. That's a really tough question to answer. I don't know what unique and surprising would be. I mean, I was the most surprised by when I went to Harlem, as I mentioned in my first video, right? Because I had always associated like good urbanism with high population and didn't really understand that like you could have good urbanism without high population. Oh, well, it was fun. Have you seen the changes regarding bike infrastructure in Tel Aviv? A little bit. That's loud. God damn it. Why is that? Thomas Schreiber is a Dutch guy who, I think he's a Dutch Israeli. He goes to Tel Aviv quite often. If you look up Thomas, Schliijper, I believe it is, on YouTube, he's got lots of videos from the Netherlands and from Tel Aviv. The teaser on Twitter looked like a developing country with a guy on a bike. Well, the people in the thread got it right. It was Tanzania. It was Zanzibar, actually, but Tanzania. All right, almost there. Thought I was going to die in a taxi coming to Taoyuan Airport. Dude made a U-turn in the expressway. Yeah, I mean, when I say that, like, drivers in Taiwan are insane sometimes, it's so funny. Like, Americans are always like, we have the worst drivers anywhere. Come to Atlanta or whatever. Like, I'm like, okay. You have no idea, dude. Some of the, like, I remember being honked at once when I was on the sidewalk because a taxi had driven on the sidewalk to get around traffic, and they were upset that we were in their way on the sidewalk. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? I'm on the sidewalk. Yeah. That's a fairly typical, like, Dutch suburb. I don't love the architecture of that stuff, but, you know, some people do. With those kind of semi-detached homes and I mean, this is Expo here, right? And we are in Vijfhuizen. And this is Expo Haarlemmermeer. But it's telling me to go this way. I don't see any obvious, like... Okay, where is it trying to take me? Okay, I think this is fine. Straight ahead through the middle, yeah. This is a Vinexwijk, really interesting planning laws. Yeah, Vinex deserves a video someday. They get a lot of shit from Dutch people, and I do love Dutch people. This is, again, like one of these examples of they have no idea how good they have it. People have said, Vinex neighborhoods are the worst. You talk about how bad American suburbia is, but you've never been to a Vinex. And I'm like, dude, the Vinex laws require you, the neighborhood, to be like within walking distance of grocery stores and things like that. Like, it's literally in the Vinex laws. So you have no idea. Vinex are, maybe they're boring, they're quiet, you know, but some people want that, right? But they still have safe infrastructure, the intelligent zoning, and you can still usually cycle or walk to services. I think I'm probably going to shut down the stream. Here we are, world of eMobility. I love living in a Vinex neighborhood. Yeah, you know, that's the other thing that annoys me when Dutch people are like, you have no idea how bad we have it, we have Vinex, is that everybody I've talked to and all the interviews I've read and watched from people who live in Vinex neighborhoods, they all like it. So it's like, yeah, you know, you don't like, maybe you just don't want to live in suburbia, that's fine, but they're not bad. Oh my god, it's the main event. Yeah, I'm actually not totally sure if I'm allowed to live stream in here. I do have a press pass, but people do get kind of pissy about live streaming because there's no editing process to remove them, such and such. Anyway, I will see if I can live stream a little later. Maybe I'll do. There's Steph.
Oh, hey.
How you doing?
Sure.
I recognize you from TikTok.
Hey. Am I on camera?
You are on camera.
You're the most high-tech person I've seen today. Hi guys, I'm Steph. Nice to meet you.
This is Steph.
We're just taking a break from the expo.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I just got here. I don't know how long I'm going to be here because it's already like after 2, but do you know what time it ends?
3:30.
We have 1 half hour.
That's amazing. All right, well, I'm going to go park and I'll come chat with you in a bit. Cheers. That's Steph the Transpo Dude on TikTok. Go check him out. I always like your live streams, but always miss them. Announce them before. The problem is I often don't know if I can live stream until like minutes before I do. But I may start putting on the stream starting soon thing longer. But every time I've announced a live stream, then suddenly there'll be like a huge rainstorm or something, and I'm like, ugh, oh well, forget that. What the hell are up with these bike racks? All right, anyway, everyone, we're not ending on a tram this time. So I guess you're supposed to like pick up your bike and put the wheel in these things? Nobody is doing that. Oh no, you're supposed to put your handlebars in it. That's right. Huh, well, whatever, I'm not doing that. Did you enter from the side entrance? Bike parking seems far. Well, I didn't go down the main road. I went down the like little path of the back. But okay, here we are in Vijfhuizen. Thanks for joining, everyone. And these bike racks are kind of stupid. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're supposed to put your handlebars in them. Literally, nobody has done it that way, and most people have done like this, where they've locked to this post. So, congratulations, everyone. Yeah, somebody on an e-bike there is doing just what I'm going to do. I'm going to lock to this post because I'm going to, well, whatever. It's stupid. Less damaging to the wheels. Yeah, that's true. I want to see NJB live in the pouring rain. Yeah, you want to see it until all of my equipment shorts out? That's great. Anyway, thanks everyone. Let me really quickly check to see if I can do the thingy. You know what I mean. Twitch. Raid. That's the word I'm looking for. God, I'm too old for Twitch. This is the other reason I may need to get off Twitch. Every time I go on it, I feel so old. It's going to end up being like the only person who's live is, oh. So who do we do? Rob CD? He's just chatting. Is he doing, let me see what he's doing. He's walking in Tokyo. All right, you want to do walking in Tokyo? Or do you want to do tech tourist at ESGS 2022 in the Philippines? Don't know what that is. I think we're going to go to Rob CD. And again, I'm just going to say there should be a raid button. I should be able to go into the interface here. I should be able to choose a creator and say raid this creator. It is really dumb that I have to type it. God, I just hate Twitch on mobile. It's very clearly not meant for what I use it for. And that's the other thing that I want to do. Okay, there. There was a problem starting the raid. Please try again. And for Christ's sake, Twitch. There was a problem starting the raid. Please try again in a minute. Okay, no, you're not getting a raid. This is bullshit. Anyway, you can go to RobCD, ROBCDEE if you're interested. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining.